Okay, folks, in this lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to teach you how to create a mail merge using the Google Workspace environment. So the first thing we're going to let you know is that if you don't have a Google account, then this isn't going to work for you. So this is going to use Gmail as well as Google Sheets in order to create customized emails that you can send out to each one of your recipients. So in a nutshell, essentially what's going to happen here, now I've got this blurred out because it is a screenshot with some sensitive information. But for instance, in this first row here, if I wanted to send a customized achievement level, engagement level, and next step to these students as well as comments, I can do that. So that's what we're going to be doing in this lesson. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to learn how to copy the templates that you're going to need to make this happen. We are going to learn how to set up the spreadsheet and how everything works. We are going to set up your draft email. And then finally, we're going to send off some emails. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing you're going to need is you're going to need the Google Sheet that has all the setup in it. So we're going to click on where it says on this website here. So hopefully you've found this website already. If not, it will be in the comment below in this YouTube video if you found this by any other means. So I'm just going to click on Mail Merge Google Sheets template, and that's automatically going to make a copy for you. Now, just watch. It does give you this warning because it is adding a script. So it's copying over a file that has a script attached to it, and it just wants to let you know, hey, this has got a script. Are you okay with that? And we are. It's going to be just fine. At the time of this recording, there's been absolutely nothing wrong with this script, and I've used it for a while, and I'm going to assume that it's going to be fine for years to come. So with that, we'll talk about this spreadsheet here in a moment. The next thing I'm going to do is go back to the website. You can create this template yourself, but I'm going to click on this email template, and it's going to allow me to create a Google Doc of a template that is something that you can adjust or work with later on. So for now, we're going to leave this alone. We have copies of our templates. What I would advise you to do at this time, if you want to pause this video and rename your files so that they have maybe a more meaningful name for you, and maybe place them into a folder in your Google environment or your Google Drive so that it is, excuse me, following the organization strategy that you use. So if you're still watching, you should be ready to go. So let's take a look at the spreadsheet here. And first off, let's look at the tabs that are listed here. So the first tab that I have at the bottom is a test tab. So this tab is just a sample tab for you to use. And it's the one that I use to send myself the email to make sure everything's working before I send it out to students. Because the last thing I want to know is that I've made a mistake and it was sent to 30 students, as opposed to I can just send it to myself and make sure everything works. So the first tab is your test tab. The next three tabs, class 1, 2, and 3, are for all of your classes. You are welcome to duplicate these sheets and add more classes, or you can absolutely remove classes if you would like as well. If you don't teach all 3 classes, you only have 1 or 2, that's fine. You can remove them. If you have more classes, you could add them. And what's important to know about this process is when we send the emails, it will only send it to the students in the tab that you're in. So for instance, I'm on the test tab. When I go to send emails, and we'll show you how to do that in a minute, then it will only send it to the students on this list. If I want to send it just to class number 1, then I would go to class 1, so on and so forth. The last thing I'm going to mention is this comment bank tab. And if I go to this tab right here, you're going to notice that there's some information already there listed for you. If I go back to the test tab, you're going to see that comment, next steps, engagement level, achievement level are all drop-down lists, and they already have information pre-populated into them. If you would like to add to this information or take things away or reword it, you could either A, get rid of the drop-down menu and type it in manually. You're more than welcome to do that. Or you can come over to the comment bank and change this information. So this script will allow you to enter in up to 99 different achievement levels, engagement levels, so on and so forth. Don't think you're going to need that many, but it's kind of future-proofing it. So if at any point you want to change those drop-down menus to be something that's more meaningful for you, that's where you would do it in the comment bank. So without further ado, let's have a look at what's going on here. So There's a drop-down box here talking about column number F. We'll mention that in a second. Now, what I've done is I've entered this information manually. So hopefully you have a database system where you can just copy all your student emails, so on and so forth. But in this case, I'm just entering these in manually. So here I've got last name, first name, student email, okay, so on and so forth, all throughout here. Now, this will be in your sample, and you are welcome to clear those out. So we are going to enter those in from scratch here in a second. Now, that is something I wanted to point out. Notice recipient is auto-populating. So if I get rid of the second parent or parent guardian email, you'll notice it disappears from recipient right away. Recipient auto-populates. If you try to delete from recipient, you will get an error message. You do not want to get rid of that information. That cell has code in it that you do not want to get rid of. So be really, really careful. You don't want to delete that information. We're going to clear out all the cells. The drop-down list and email sent are fine. Recipient, though, you cannot delete the information that's here. One thing I'd like to mention too, you are welcome to change these headings to be whatever you want. You can reorganize them. The only two you cannot change or reword are recipient and email sent. Those have to stay as is, or else bad things are going to happen. Now, this text box is just telling you exactly what I was just talking about do not delete the information here. So we're going to get rid of it. We don't need it anymore. So we're going to go last name, I'm going to say is teacher. First name is Mr. Student email. So this for this part, I'm going to type in my email. So it's going to be blurred out. You're not going to see that on there. Okay. And you're going to see that recipient auto-populates. Now, if there was a second or a parent guardian email or two that I wanted to add to that, that's where I put in these two boxes right here, and they would auto-populate as you saw earlier. In this case, I'm not going to do that. Now, what happens if they didn't have a second parent or guardian email and only wanted to put one? You can leave it blank. It's fine. It will only send it to the people that are in the recipient text box. Now, if you have, one thing I should point out, I should say, is that everybody in the recipient text box will all receive the same email. They're not getting their own copy of it. So all three of them will be attached to one email. So that's something to note. Their course, they are registered in ABC 1, 2, 3. Their achievement level, we're going to say they're achieving the level 3. They're meeting that provincial standard. They've got good engagement. They're progressing well. You should work on showing your steps process to reveal your thinking. Again, taking that information from the comment bank, and I'm done. Again, you could very easily add, so I could just insert a column to the right and add a new header there that I can put my own information, maybe number of absences and lates or whatever the case may be, but I'm going to get rid of that for now. I have that information set up. Now, one thing I want you to notice is when we go to add more students, so if I go to add student 2, so I'm just going to put test@test.com. I run into a problem here. Why didn't that auto-populate it? You said it was supposed to. You're right. The first row is only set up. If you have more students, simply click on the cell, grab the blue dot at the bottom right, and drag it down. We can just say, okay. Actually, on that one, we can say okay, because, let me go back. We're trying to add that code to the second one. You sure you want to add this code to the second one? Absolutely. Done. Okay. So that's how you get to auto-populate. Now we are just going to get rid of that row because we don't need it. This one's saying now, heads up, you're going to get rid of this row. I'm okay with that. It's the second one. Spreadsheet set up. We're ready to rock, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go back to our template. This is going to be the subject and body of the sample email that we're going to send. Again, you can change it to whatever you want. I'm going to click compose. I'm going to maximize this, so it's nice and big for you. I'll come back to this template and I'm going to make this the subject line. So I'm going to copy that and paste it right in the subject line. Now you might be looking at this and thinking, hey, that looks a little silly. Why is course in squiggly brackets? Because it's not actually going to type the word course. Anything in squiggly brackets, it's going to go look at the spreadsheet and put that value in for that student. So in the case of Mr. Teacher, what was the course that was listed? ABC 123. So that's what's going to be placed there for them. Same thing with first name, last name. This is where the customization comes into play. And I'm just going to copy that. Let's come back to the draft and paste the rest of it. There we go. Oops, I was actually going to paste it like that. And then I'm going to make it nice and large so you can see it on the screen. There you go. But what happens, I added that number of absences. I had that header that said absences. How would I add that to my email? You could say total number of absences this semester, and then squiggly absences. Be really careful. So 2 squigglies on either side. This has to be spelled exactly as it shows up in your spreadsheet. If you have it all caps, make this all caps. If you have a capital A, lowercase, everything else, so on and so forth, it has to match it exactly as it is in the spreadsheet. Okay, so for instance, if we look at next steps, notice that next steps, capital N, capital S. Go to the spreadsheet. Next steps, capital N, capital S, has to match exactly or it will not work. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. What happens if I want to start my draft, right? I ran out of time. I want to come back and modify it later. If you close this, you can just simply go back to your drafts here on the left-hand side. And there it is at the top. Again, remembering that everything in squiggly brackets is going to be a variable. I'm now going to copy this subject line because that's going to be important for later. Now I'm going to jump over to the template and I'm going to send these emails by using mail merge. So when I click on mail merge, send emails, that's going to run the script and it's trying to run. And what should happen now is it's going to say, and there it is, authorization required. This is the first time you're running it. And it's saying, hey, did you know this is running? Are you okay with this? And we are. So we're going to click OK and we're going to authorize it. So I'm going to click select all. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and I'm going to click continue. Now just realize though, some Google administrators, if you're not the Google administrator, may have turned this permission off and you can't run scripts. So if that's the case, you may want to reach out to whoever's administrating your Google Workspace and just see what the plan is there, if it's ever going to be activated or not. So I'm going to click continue. So now it's saying, all right, you're allowed to run the script. Which draft do you want to use? That was that subject line that we copied earlier. So if I paste the subject line, there it is. So course progress report for first name, last name. Now what should show up is course ABC 123 progress report for first name, Mr., last name, teacher. Go okay. It's going to do its thing. And you'll notice right there inside email sent is a date, which is great for just documentation purposes so that you know that an email was sent to the family on this date if you ever need to go back. If we go back into our email now, I'm going to minimize that. I'll leave it open just in case something went wrong. So I'll just kind of minimize it off to the side and I'll look in my inbox and I'll just click refresh. And there it is right there. It was actually there the whole time. And we have ABC 123 progress report for Mr. Teacher. Greetings, Mr. and family. Hope that here's the progress report date for ABC 123. Look at that. There's your level 3. There's your good engagement progressing well. Next step. You should work on showing your steps to show your thinking. The student usually meets timelines. So all those custom values were placed in there and you have your email sent. That's it. The only last thing I would mention on this is what happens if I don't want to send it to all my students. I only want to send it to all the students that maybe I have concerns with. Maybe it's an absenteeism thing or they're missing work or whatever the case may be. All you have to do is where it says email sent, put a character in there. So you'll notice that it auto-populated with a date. I'll press the letter X. I'll just put a character in there saying, no, don't send it to the student. If you want it to send, make sure it's blank. So delete the date that was in there if there's one in there. And if you don't want it to send, put a character in there. So watch what happens this time. If I send emails, what email do you want to send? I'll paste the draft. I'll click OK. It's going to run the script. It will say finish script. You'll notice there's still the letter X there. There's no date. When I go to my email, nothing new will show up here at the top. That's still the original letter that was just sent earlier. So if you don't want to send it to students, all you have to do is exit out inside the email site. And that is how you can send a mail merge and customize your emails for each of your students, parents, and guardians.